Okay, don't.
I know, here, it's there, okay, yeah, did you get the announcement? Yes. I'll tell you, if it makes you
You've done a really good job.
we have another minute. Lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, ya lie, lie, ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, ya lie, lie, ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 lie. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. So there's a couple things missing tonight. The first is the rabbi. No, he's out at camp, and so I am going to be filling in for him. And also, the other thing that's missing is, can anybody guess? Besides my glasses, thank you, I'll take those right now. Because my readers don't work as well. What's missing? The musical accompaniment. So I'm going to confess that I get nervous when I play guitar, believe it or not, and sing and be the rabbi. So I chose to leave out the guitar. On the bima joining us this evening is Jocelyn Harper, who's going to grace us with her beautiful words for her Jewish journey, and who's also nervous. So we're going to make her feel really good by when she's done. We're going to clap or just welcome her with open arms. And then Linda Barr from our executive board, she will join us with our announcements. So I would like to invite the Kays up to light our candles.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. As we welcome in Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming in the Sabbath as a bride, we begin on page 10 with Hine Matov. So I would like you all to join me with your voices so that we can all sing as one giant accompaniment. So, Hine Matov. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Lai 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 lai. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Lai 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 lai. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. As we walk back through our week, let's recall where we were a week ago, who we were with, what happened in the news, what happened in our lives, things that were wonderful, maybe things that we want to forget. Let's move forward as we welcome in Shabbat into the day of rest. We turn to page 20 for Lecha Dodi. And in verse 9, I'll ask you to please rise and face the entrance to our sanctuary. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habaracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashcha v'tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5, Hitoreri, Kiva orech umi ori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise and face the entrance to your home or to our sanctuary. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'sochola, toch emuneh am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likra kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please turn to page 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yikadal v'ikadash shemei rabba be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman karib v'meru amen yehei shmei rabba mevarach Le'alamu almei almaya yitbarach mishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei tekudasha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Da'amiram be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. We remain standing for the Baruch Hu. Lai la lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Lai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. At this time, I can excuse junior congregation. Thank you, Lauren, for entertaining our family today. Where did she go? Oh, there she is. You may be seated. Please read with me at the bottom of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Please join me in song Ahavat Olam on page 32. Ahavat Olam, Bet Yisrael, Amecha Avta, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Akin Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki chem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahib negen yomam v'layla, negen yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimeinu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivul Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated and join me in chanting Via Havta on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher Elohim mitzavecha hayom alavavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'letecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Lema'an tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim l'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem l'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. On the top of page 39, please join me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Let us sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and for generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Please join me in Mi Chamocha. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh, nora tehilot osei feleh, nora tehilot osei feleh, malachutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam zelianu ve'amaru Adonai yimloch Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Together, Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. The prayer of Hashkivenu, page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shamreinu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. O Adonai. As we begin our personal prayers, we say that we pray as if everything depended on God, but we act as if everything depends on us. Please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el hagadol hagibor v'hanorah, El Elyon, gomel chasadim tovim, ve'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula lifnei v'nehem, lema'an shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah, Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim v'chol yom yichalelu sela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. Please join me at the top of 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulcha na'eh lehodot. As we take in the words of Shalom Rav, the greatest sense of peace, think of one thing, as Rabbi Stacy mentioned last time, what opened your door, what was peaceful to you for this week and for the week ahead. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, l'chol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, l'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarich et Amcha Yisrael. Bechalit uvechal shah bishlamecha. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Please take a few moments for silent meditation. Say shalom imromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'iru imeru amin. Yase shalom, yase shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. As we think back on our week, we also think of those who are in need of healing, we turn to page 253. And as we share the Mishaberach prayer, in the midst of the prayer, I will ask if you have any names to share of those who you're thinking of at this time. Page 253 in the middle of the page. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. If you have any names to share, please do so by raising your hand. Kathy Meyerson. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with Refuah Shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. This week, we conclude reading the book of Numbers, and we embark on the final book of the Torah, Deuteronomy, our fifth and final book. It begins by stating, "These are the words that Moses addressed to all Israel on the other side of the Jordan." The Hebrew name for Deuteronomy, Devarim, literally means words, and this framing sets the entire book apart from the rest of the Torah. In summation by Rabbi Max Chaikin, he writes, "The opening words of Deuteronomy always remind us that the Torah has a sense of humor. In the previous three books, everything we have seen and heard about Moses has been in the third person. But here, Moses speaks for himself. The humor comes from what we know about Moses. In his encounter with God at the burning bush, the reluctant prophet needed serious convincing that he was the right man for the job. He pleaded with the Eternal One in Exodus chapter 4, verse 10, "I have never been good with words, either in times past or now that you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." And now here Moses stands 40 years later, ready to speak an entire book called Words, including its first portion, which is also called Devarim. After 40 years in the desert, Moses has found his voice. Tonight, we will hear from someone who found her voice through her journey to Judaism, and who will teach us tonight about the importance of speaking up for others and the price of our silence. I welcome to the Bima, Jocelyn Harper.
Your check's in the mail, that was good.
My check's in the mail, she said.
That was good. All right. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah. So I know you came here for a little feel-good conversion story, and I promise we'll get there. But I promised Rabbi Brown that we'll do Torah learning today. I wouldn't be a very good fill-in if I didn't get to that first. So today's portion is, or the portion for the week, rather, is Matot Maseh. And in a nutshell, it involves Moses reviewing the rules and laws in regards to making vows or promises for us as a travel community. So to start with, first of all, can you hear me with this on my face? Yes. Okay, just making sure. I read a commentary on this portion from, hold on one second, because this is not going to work. Okay, all right, sorry about that. I read a commentary on this portion from Brad Artson in which he highlighted a very important rule that Moses laid out for Bnei Israel concerning making vows or promises. So the rule is the rule of assent, obviously, and not assent in the sense of ascending or going up somewhere, but assent as A-S-S-E-N-T, which is the opposite of descent, but we'll get there, or dissent, rather. So when making vows, a spouse could nullify another spouse's vows, but only in the moment. And if the moment passed, the spouse could not do so and was considered to be in agreement with the other spouse. That is what the rule of assent means. We are most familiar with its antonym, which is dissent, or to show disagreement. So this works, for example, I'm going to pick on somebody really quick. So let's say we have Mike and Peggy, okay? So if Mike's wife Peggy makes a vow that says, I'm going to spend $50,000 on shoes this month. Sounds like a great idea, right? But yeah, it does, right? So Mike has, in this moment, only this time to express his dissent or disagreement. Otherwise, the agreement stands if he is silent. Sounds good, right, Mike? Yeah? No? Okay. So you might ask me, why would I bring up something that is kind of weird, and if we're being honest, it's a little bit misogynist, yes? So let me first go on the record as saying I don't believe that a man's word holds more weight than a woman's. But the idea of assent in silence has implications for our everyday lives on this planet. Because believe it or not, we live in a world in which we are constantly taking in vows or pieces of information and deciding whether or not we agree. In his 2021 commentary, Rabbi Artson asks, how often do we face acts of injustice or callousness with silence? A derogatory joke in our presence, an act of selfishness or cruelty, or simply reading of political oppression in our newspapers. All of these instances summon us to choose a side. We can either verbalize our opposition, or immediately, or through our silence, we become allies of the act or words we abhor. There is no neutrality, and silence is assent. In other words, what we permit, friends, is what we promote. So, my journey to Judaism began with just that, a realization back in early 2018 and 2019 that a life spent in a religious environment paying lip service to the idea of a loving God while continuing to co-sign rhetoric that denied not only my own humanity and worthlessness as queer black woman was not only permitting, but also promoting hatred. I could dissent, of course, or I could continue to show my assent with silence and compliance. Well, the end of 2019 and the rise of the pandemic, for all of its chaos, provided a convenient exit from my previous religious environment. Religious environment's closed. I can't go to it, right? I took a few months to examine my own core beliefs, what mattered to me, what I wanted to be known for speaking on at the end of my life, and that reflection actually led me to considering Judaism. I actually joke that the scariest phone call that I ever made was the one I made to this very synagogue in January of 2021, because I was used to being silent, compliant, and docile, and just following what I always knew, right? Because that's what we do. And I, on some level, credit Judaism for helping me find my voice. So that's the cute part, right? The part where we all clap, and you can clap if you want to, and say, and say, aw, oh my God, like you can give it a good aw because it's a very cute story. And don't get me wrong, I love a good conversion story myself, but if I did not bring this back to Torah, I would not be a very good stand-in for Rabbi Brown, so here it goes. So at any moment, as humans, we are faced with all kinds of vows and promises. Politicians promise to decimate our access to reproductive health care. Racists promote that this joke is totally fine because I have black friends. And still more politicians promise to end same-sex marriage and repeal protections for trans youth, among other things. We aren't always in a position to change the laws, friends. We may not even always be in a position that will bring about change in the heart of someone who is racist or otherwise bigoted or homophobic, but make no mistake, we are always in the position to stand up or speak for someone else, lest we let our silence speak for us. So maybe you are, like me, in agreement, of course, but not sure how to speak up. Start where you are. It could be something as simple as reaching out to your representative to express your displeasure at oppressive policy, which I'm really good at, so you can always let me know if you need pointers or coaching, or as small as being the lone dissenter in a workplace discussion that disparages women or people of color or some other marginalized group. Most timely, though, finding your voice also means being the one, particularly if you're someone who sits in a place of privilege, being the one to look around your schools, your workplace, and even your own synagogue and ask the hard questions. Whose perspective is being centered here? Is it the perspective of people who look just like me? And most importantly, whose voice is missing from this space? This is not an easy thing to do, of course, but as we read in our liturgy at the beginning of service, life asks us, or our week and our difficulties ask us if we should draw back or draw forward in the face of difficult discussions, hard questions, and troublesome vows. I think we know the answer, and it's only by speaking up and using your collective voice for good and your privilege for good that forward progress is made. Shabbat Shalom.
Wow, right? Mm-hmm. This is why I don't have a guitar. I got too many things up here. Let us turn to page 282 for Aleinu. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. In the period of Shloshim, we finally remember Anthony Lianza and those observing a yortzeit of Samuel Aronson, Lucy Axner, Joseph Bellin, Albert Beyer, Minnie Brodsky, Charlotte Cohen, Alice Fawcett, Herman Ferbstein, Isidore Gergel, Frank Gleichman, Rosa Hollander, Fanny B. Hollab, Albertine Judas, Carol Kruger, Philip Lapidus, Francis Lebovich, Blanche Levine, Blanche Lieberman, Phyllis Lakshin, Miriam K. Olson, Martin Pollack, Alma Rubin, Sadie Roth, Irving L. Schwartz, Jenny Schwartz, Benjamin Siegel, Bessie Sensor, Carl Shapiro, Samuel Paul Sobel, Pauline Woolman, and John Uranka. If there are names I've mispronounced or names you would like to add, please share them at this time. Please rise as we are a community of grief and support together. The Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us all and to all of Israel, as we all say together, amen. Having connected with those we've loved and lost, please connect with the words of the priests. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May he cause his countenance to shine upon you and be gracious. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisam lecha shalom. And may he lift up his face upon you and grant you peace. Let us all sing together. Amen. Please remain standing as I invite again up Larry and Shelley Kay to join us. Kiddush and Motzi.
Heaven and earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done, and blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesha be'ahava uvraton hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodeshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. If you'll uncover the challah that the Shvetz family is going to take home tonight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. You may be seated. I now invite our board member Linda Barr to join us for a few announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Some thank yous tonight. First, thank you to Larry and Shelley Kay for leading us in the blessings. Thank you to Jocelyn Harper for the wise words and for finding her voice in Judaism. And I hope that you will continue to have that voice here, and we look forward to it at Temple Israel.
You're going to get sick of it.
No, we won't. No, we won't. Thank you to Cantor Kathy. We are very, very fortunate to have the quality of clergy that we have, that when one is away, that we have not missed a beat in the last 2 weeks. Don't tell that to Rabbi Josh. He's going to think that, But we have not. We have not missed a beat, and Cantor Kathy has certainly done exemplary work. So thank you. Thank you. So Rabbi Josh will be back next week. He's at camp, s'mores, kumbaya. Kumbaya is Hebrew. Did you know that? It's true. I read it on the internet. Okay? No, I did read it on the internet, but it is true. Check it out. Google. Announcements, all right? And stop me if you've heard this one before. Sisterhood Shabbat. Have you? Okay. Well, it's finally next week, okay? Next Friday. They are sponsoring a barbecue onig after service, and the menu can be found in the weekly email. The food ordering deadline is Monday. So if you want a free meal and to celebrate Shabbat also, I realize the second one is more important than the first one, but it's free. Please join us next week as we celebrate Sisterhood Shabbat. The Akron Pride March is Saturday, August 27. If you would like to march or walk, please contact Carol Friedman. She will tell you where to meet that morning. And I missed one thank you, and that is thank you to Kylie Bertahand, who is also exemplary and was off this week, but I noticed that she is here tonight, so she didn't get the full week off so that she could do the video. So thank you very much, Kylie. And one reminder, there is no Torah study tomorrow. Rabbi Josh Kumbaya, s'mores. And Torah study will resume next week. So thank you all, and have a wonderful weekend.
So we all thought we had no accompaniment, but you guys were wonderful. So let's all stand up and sing Odivo Shalom Aleinu and clap and enjoy this beautiful Shabbat. Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Come on, congregational choir. Salam, you're all here. Aleinu ve'akol ha'olam, salam, salam, salam. Aleinu ve'akol ha'olam, salam, salam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu, Odivo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.